Now here we go with some more KvK action. Now this time it is for the wonder at the end, the base. As you guys know, it's a one-shot thing. If you don't get it, there is no like 20-minute timer that you get to go again, etc. It's a one-shot thing. So from past experiences, I'm gonna try and give you guys a couple of tips that I have learned from some failures and also along the way. So the first thing that you want to do is try to guess what everybody else is going to be sending. Like if you know that a guild or a specific person loves to go ranged, or maybe they love to go cavalry, try to predict that and go with what would counter that. If you're not exactly sure, then just go with your best march. Like that's probably the best thing you can do. The next thing is, from previous experience, add a T4 siege yourself into your own march. That way you know exactly what is the longest amount of time that the march would take to get there. The reason I say this is because before I actually did an all infantry march, which you would think is the slowest, but I did not add a T4 siege, and for whatever reason somebody added a T4 siege onto the march and it slowed it down considerably, and I ended up launching thinking that I was right on time, but no, we were couple of seconds behind at least, and then you have to worry about carpeting. But if you carpet, you might get there too soon. It's just too much. So add one T4 siege to your march at the beginning. That way you know what is the longest you're going to take. The other thing is, if you have two emulators opened at the same time, is probably the best way, because essentially what you can do is, once everybody has their troops in and you're ready to go, you can use this other emulator or this other account to actually check the base time for yourself, and then go to your normal account and release at the right time. That way you don't have to worry about clicking on the base, going to your march, then finding your timer, then releasing. Like, all of that can easily take 5-6 seconds, and that's without counting any sort of lag, etc. So as long as you have a second account that you can actually count on and watch the timer from there, all you have to do is go to your rally screen, go to the timer, and then just be ready to release. That's all. Quick thing also, for whatever reason, V2V was in the base already and they had troops in there. They weren't rallying at the end. What you want to do at the end is actually rally the base, not be occupying it, because what happens is, if you're occupying it, more than likely you're the one that's going to have to try and defend 3, 4, who knows, maybe even more rallies depending on the kingdom that you're in. Now for our kingdom here, we really only have 4 rallies going at the base. Well, technically 3, because V2V was already on the base. So it was us, PYY, and FW. So obviously what we wanted to do is to not either have V2V or PYY get it. If FW gets it, that's fine as well, because FW and us, we can share titles, we can share regent and all that. So we didn't really care too much if FW gets it, but PYY and V2V, those were no-go. So that was really the plan at the beginning. Now, with all of that being said, you also want to be very aware of what else is going on the forts that you are rallying. Like for instance, I noticed that the base was getting a lot of action, but the other forts were not. So the first thing that I said is, go ahead and launch if your fort is not being rallied by anybody else and there is nobody in that fort, because essentially what that does is that it's going to give us an extra boost when we do hit the base. So we go ahead and take Tempest there, nobody else was rallying it, so it was safe for us to go ahead and launch that, even though it was still a couple of minutes from being locked up, because no one else was actually trying to get it. And then here we get another one, and guess what? Increases range defense, increases range HP, and guess what my march was? Range. So getting that boost early on, instead of me hitting the base and then getting the fort and not getting the fort boost for the base, it would have worked against me. So at this point there was only two more rallies left, Frozen and base. Now those were contested. That one, Don Almas was going for Frozen, and then of course you have multiple people that were going on for the base. So now here comes the big the big deal. Right now we're about to get set. Now I actually sent it in the cavalry wedge because that's actually going to give 4 quote-unquote front lines in front of my range in order to attack the base. So it's going to help on my first hit. Now if there is a second hit, that won't help as much, but neither is any other formation anyway. So what I did here is I make sure that I go over to my timer, and I went over to the second account, and what I was doing is making sure that I was actually looking at the time on the base going down specifically, and then on the screen I didn't have to worry about going back like I mentioned before, finding the timer again, releasing, and because all of that can really mess up your timing. So once you're here, you want to make sure that everybody else is sped up to your rally, and then you're only really waiting on this timer. And then once you're 100% sure that you're about to let it go, all you have to do is click on that arrow, and then it's going to get a little message. Make sure that you are on that message already before you release, because that's going to save you an extra second. So there it is. Send back your allies' army. And once I'm in this screen right here, all I gotta hit is yes, and there we go, we're off to the races. So 38 seconds to get there. Because I included my siege, I'm probably gonna be one of the slowest walking ones, but that's okay as long as I played it safe and I knew what was the walk time, at least the longest walk time. I was completely fine with that. Also, it looks like PYY launched a little too late, and that's probably why they had to use carpets, which was okay with me. So here we go. Base is about to lock in just a couple of seconds. There goes PYY. Boom, they burn V2V out of the 4, and then we take them out, and then FW hits us, and they hit us out. Obviously, because we had already hit and our rally was weakened, but it was still very close. 3.9 versus 3.5, and we almost even pulled that out. But like I mentioned before, if FW got the base, we didn't really care too much. It was mainly PYY and V2B that we wanted to hit out of that base. But considering that was the second hit, I didn't mind it at all. Now here's the first hit. Ouch. That's all I'm going to say. Now, considering that they had just hit V2B out of the fort, they were also weakened as well. So their hit, they probably took the most damage out of everybody, PYY. And then plus the heroes, I did not understand those heroes, because he had a bunch of army heroes, but you sent all range. So why would you send a bunch of army heroes? That makes me think that they really didn't really know how to properly rally. I'm not really sure. At least Banana Candy, he did send kind of like a 4-4-2 mix in a way, and that's where you would want the army heroes. So that was actually good. But the PYY rally was kind of weird, because it's all range, but you have a bunch of like random army heroes. That's not optimal. It works, but it's not optimal unless they just really didn't have much else. But regardless, for the KvK, 541 did defeat 545 and Kingdom 1. Like I mentioned before in one of my videos, we did come in second place. First place in the Kingdom. FW and PC came in second and third with 750,000 and 525,000. So they did plenty of work, as well as like another couple other guilds that went over 400,000 or so. That's decent work. As far as solo war ranking, I came in 5th for the whole KvK as far as the 3 kingdoms that were facing each other. We had a lot of good people in our guild score a bunch of points, so I'm proud of that. Good to see that. And then of course, as far as the guild war ranking, I actually came in 3rd. Ken Drunky was actually number 1, but funny thing, if you do leave your guild during KvK, your points for whatever reason gets reset to 0. But that's fine, because his solo points were still on the board as far as solo war ranking. But yeah, there he is, 131.5, and then Evil Santa with 131.2. I know that he was probably pissed, because he literally missed it by a few thousand points. But as far as world ranking, the Frostwolf clan came in 1st, as they usually do, and then we came in 2nd, Air 3rd, and then we have a bunch of other guilds that just made it over 1 billion. Which, let me tell you, getting over 1 billion is not really the easiest, especially if it's like a busy kingdom and you have a lot of other guilds going for it. But I'm definitely proud of my guild, specifically because even though we came in 1st, Frostwolf clan, I believe what they usually do is that they have people in different kingdoms, so their points are more spread out, and they have more targets because they are in multiple kingdoms, whereas we were basically just in the one. So I'm really proud of that. But yeah, hopefully you guys aren't too tired of KvK videos, because I got at least 2 more coming out. But yeah, appreciate you guys for watching, and until later, bye.